Okay, let's get started. 11 a.m. We'll probably always start right about at 11 a.m. So you probably want to get here. Don't forget to sign in, please. Right there, okay? And I don't know what to tell you. This is business stats. Don't forget to sign in, please. Right at the table there. There you go. This is business stats. I'm assuming most of you are business majors. Is there anybody not a business major? One person, that's it? Everyone else is a business major? Okay. All of you that are business majors, you also need Decision Sciences 302, which is the one after this, Advanced Business Statistics. But to get into that class, you've got to have a C or better in this class. So make that your goal to make sure you're getting a C or better. And what's nice is throughout this whole semester, you'll be able to see where your grade stands, because it will always be updated on the grade book. I try to make sure and put the correct weights for every assignment when I'm putting the grades in the grade book. So you can see at the end, the total will be where your grade is if the class ended that day. So throughout the whole semester, you know where you stand. And then I'm going to publish a spreadsheet so you can always calculate what you need on your future grades to get whatever grade your goal is for the class. So just so you know, you'll know all the way through there. The good news is that, I don't know. I don't want to skip around too much. Let's stick with the plan here. Announcements. I put very few announcements up there. Usually if I'm using announcements, it means it's really important. I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but do you get an email notification if I post an announcement, it says announcement's been posted? You do. So then I'm relying on that then. And usually I'll email you directly from email to email unless I need to email all of you at one time, and then I do it through Canvas. And you'll be able to tell it's kind of a different email. It doesn't look like it's coming directly from me. You can tell it's kind of coming through Canvas. It's because I had to send something to all of you at one time, so I do that with Canvas. Just says welcome, tutoring. Let me click on the tutoring for you. At first you're going to think, hey, this class is pretty easy, it's going smooth, I don't need tutoring. But I start out slow to get the building blocks because everything builds on each other, then it gets harder and harder. As it gets harder, you may want to take advantage of the tutoring. It's all free, why not? Especially because at this point in time, this course usually has what's called a supplemental instructor, where on like Tuesdays and Thursdays after your class ends, you could go to another room, I think it's in another hall in the building, and there'll be an ex-student who used to have this class there to help you go through the stuff you just learned. You know, even talk about the homework a little bit or something. But the bad news is, I just got an email saying they haven't found somebody to be the supplemental instructor, so we might be on our own. That's why the tutoring may be your best option, since the supplemental may not exist. And the tutoring, there's tutors available Monday through Friday if you want to make an appointment for a tutor. But if you want to just walk in, what's the walking schedule here? Walk-in is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays from 10 to 1, or Thursdays from 10 to 2, and it's in 181, which I think is the next hall over. Kind of parallel to this hall over. Please don't forget to sign in. If anybody else forgot to sign in, make sure to sign in, please. So, it looks like Shergil, is that how you pronounce that? Will be in the mornings, and help me, Sahana will be in the afternoons. That'd be the names. If you just want to walk into those times, just ask for one of their names so you can get directly to someone who's there who specializes in tutoring in business statistics. Those are the two that are tutoring specifically in business statistics. So there you go. You shouldn't, if you're a math person, if you feel you're a numbers person, a math person, could you raise your hand just so I can see if we have a few in here? We do. So not quite half the class, a lot less than half the class. You're going to find this class pretty easy. It is numbers oriented. For all of you who didn't raise your hand, you're going to find this class easier than you expect, but not easy. Right? It's going to be easier than you expect because I designed it mostly for students who are not numbers oriented. I designed it to kind of be baby steps. So those who are numbers oriented, you're going to find this class real easy to start with. Hang in there. It'll start to get challenging as the semester goes on, but overall, numbers-oriented students usually do well in the class. You want to ask? Okay, all right. So, any questions about the tutoring, what your expectations are so far? Should I just keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, keep going. All right. Let's see, what else? Let's go to the syllabus. That's where most of the stuff is. Oh, by the way, the syllabus is posted on Canvas under the syllabus tab, which I think I put on the welcome message. Oh, hey, he's in the wrong class?
Yeah.
Yeah, across the hall. Come back at 2. Anyway, there's the syllabus right there. That little link right there will give you the full syllabus. I only post parts at a time. So what I have posted is all the way up to quiz 1. So there's week 1, week 2, week 3, and there's week 4 when you're having quiz 1. After quiz 1, I'll erase all that and I'll put all the information from quiz 1 to quiz 2. After quiz 2, I erase all that, put all the information from quiz 2 to the final exam. But the whole thing, you can see the whole thing by just clicking on the link, and it will open up a Word document, and it looks just like this, and you can download it and have it. That reminds me, before I forget, when you take your quizzes, I know a lot of you come to class and you sit in front of the same computer almost every class sometimes some people will switch around, but mostly everybody ends up sitting in front of the same computer. When you take your quiz, you will most likely not be in front of the same computer. There's going to be assigned seating. So with that said, because the quizzes and the final exam are open book, open anything I post on Canvas, you want to have a flash drive or something with all that stuff on Canvas. All the answers to the homework assignment, all the answers to the in-class assignments, all the PowerPoints. Because you have that flash drive, whatever computer then you sit in front of, or if you bring your own computer, you just take that, put it in that computer and bring everything up before the quiz starts. You can use everything that's posted on Canvas while you're taking the quiz. Let me warn you, that means don't let that tempt you to not prepare for the quiz. Because the time constraint is going to be your worst enemy. It's open book, it's open note. There's got to be something to make it more challenging. It's going to be time. So when you're preparing for my quizzes and the final exam, you want to figure out a way to access all the information that's posted on Canvas that you're going to have on that flash drive quickly. How do you have it organized that you can find the information you want when you read a question? For example, oh my gosh, this question is binomial distribution. Somehow you got to have an organizational system where you're now bringing up the PowerPoint for binomial distribution, or you're bringing up the answer from the homework assignment related to binomial distribution. Whatever it is you need, or the page number from your book. You can have your hard copy book or an online book. Bring that up, ready to go right before the quiz starts. But you need to have something that you go, what page should I go to? Where's binomial at? Some kind of organized system. That's how you prepare for the quizzes and final exam. It's not about studying and memorizing things. It's about getting organized, getting familiar with the information, so you can quickly find the information you need to help you then do the problem you now have in front of you. If we could all memorize everything, we'd all become doctors and lawyers. All right? This isn't about memorizing. This is about using the tools I'm going to provide for you during the semester in what will be like real life examples. And I'm going to give you a bunch of real life examples. Because I came from the working world, worked my way up as managers through different companies, and then walked away from the working world to come teach. So I have a lot of examples to share with you that will hopefully prepare you for that working world you're about to face. And it's not fun all the time. Right? I even worked my way all the way up to president of a company, and it wasn't fun. I remember dreading every day going to work, except for that one day at night when I taught my class at night. I looked forward to that day. And that's when I knew I needed to walk away and just teach part-time. Because I didn't need money anymore, so I just walked away and just teach part-time. So that's what I'm doing here. And if you show up early, I'm going to teach you a whole bunch of things outside of business statistics. The theme is how to retire early. All right, so now, syllabus. There's my phone number. Feel free to text that number, because I never answer it. I don't think I've answered my phone in 3 years at least, maybe more. And then before 3 years, I barely answered it then. I'm just saying, I don't think I've even answered it once in 3 years. So feel free to leave a message, but you text me, you'll probably get a response a lot faster. So there's my phone number. My email, that's the number way to communicate. Definitely, I'm checking my school email all the time, so that's a good way to get hold of me. And A lot of students have had me in the past, they'll tell you I respond fairly quickly. You know, quicker than most, for sure. So that's a good way to get a hold of me, is email. Office hours. I'm not holding office hours on campus because I want to have a huge amount of office hours, which means anytime other than Tuesday and Thursday, I'm available for an office call using Zoom. Anytime but Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I'm here all day Tuesdays and Thursdays. So either of those days, I live 80-minute drive away, so it takes me all morning to get here and then all afternoon to get back home. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm pretty booked up, even though I only have 2 classes. So any day but that, any time, I'll work around your schedule. If you're a late night person, I'll set my alarm, wake up, and give you a Zoom call, whatever it takes. So you have lots of Zoom possibilities if you need an office visit. What I suggest, before you have schedule an office visit, I'll email you and say, before we schedule it, email me your question, let's see if we can work it out email, and 90% of the time they go, oh, I don't need the office visit now, or something like that. So, but again, there's always a few students who want to have that office visit, and I'm very happy to do it. So there you go, any day but Tuesday and Thursday, lots of different times available for you. What else? Course description, blah, blah, blah. There's the grading. Here's the bad news. That grading is in stone. It's not changing. And when you get to the end of the semester, all I do is all the weights are applied, and let's get to the weights while I'm right there. All the weights, 5% is your participation, 15% is the in-class assignments, 20% is your homework assignments, quiz 1 is what, 15%, quiz 2 is 20%. How come I have, something's wrong, I made a mistake there. There's a misprint because I changed it. Darn. It's supposed to be 14 and 20, which adds up to 34, and I got 32 there. So I'll fix that and repost it. If anybody downloaded it, you got wrong percentages there somehow. This doesn't probably even add up to 100 now I'm looking at it. Anyway, first quiz I think is supposed to be 14. The second quiz 20, and the final exam 25. So the final exam is a big deal. What's nice about the final exam is I don't stray from the way I test you. When you get through quiz 1 and quiz 2, you're going to know what the final exam is going to be like, because it's just like quiz 1 and quiz 2, but twice as long. Same type of questions. There are problems, and then there's a mixture of some multiple choice. The multiple choice is a minority of questions on the quiz and the final exam, and most of them are problems. And the key to doing well in the problems and getting the most points is being able to recognize what kind of problem you're reading and being able to set it up. There's where most of the points are. There's additional points in showing work, how you calculate the answer and getting the correct answer, but most of the points is that you recognize what kind of problem you're reading and set it up correctly. Pick the numbers out of it and put them in the right place. Whether you're writing an Excel equation or manually placing the numbers in the equation, whichever way you're being asked to do it, there's where all the points are. Because once you get to that point, we all know how to do algebra. We know how to subtract and divide and add. The hard part is recognizing what kind of problem you're reading, which numbers belong with which variables when you're using the equation. That's the tough part. Knowing which numbers to use for which variables. And that's where all the points are then. That's the part I want you to focus on, because that's the part that's going to get you through DS 302, which is going to be way harder than my class. Because they're just hard. Teachers. I'm not talking about the materials hard, but the teachers are hard. I don't know. But notice, all I did with the scales is I lowered what was necessary to get, for example, a B. Usually a B would be between 84 and 86, but I took it down to 83. So the B minus only goes up to 82 instead of 83. So 83 moved up. Same with C, 73 is in the C instead of C minus. Same with D, like it matters, because you guys gotta have a C or above. And A, same thing, 93 gets an A instead of 94. So that's the only shift, but that's in stone. Here's the deal though, you finish this semester and you end up at, let's say you got an 86.4. What's your grade? What's your grade, letter grade? It's a B. Why is it a B? Because 0.4 rounds down, and I only go one digit to the right of the decimal on grades, on the final grade. So you're only looking at the first digit to the right, If it's a 5, if this is why each one of these things are so important, because I hate it when somebody's right there on the line between 2 grades. It just breaks my heart. It's almost like, wow, if they just would have showed up on time, that one more time, wasn't late that one time, that's what breaks my heart. When they're right on the right, hang on now, there, 86.49, what's this grade?
B.
Letter grade?
B.
B, because I only go 1 digit to the right of the decimal. Very good. But this person got what grade?
B plus.
B plus, because that next digit to the left, first digit to the right decimal is a 5, which means I round up. So what do you got to have in your final grade to get the A that you want in this class? What's the lowest you can get and still get the A in the class for your final total?
92.5.
92.5 or above. That first digit to the right has to be a 5, and you got the 93. So there you go. Now you know how that works. I have almost no influence on your grade. Everything is graded like a machine, well, without looking at names, and the grades are entered in, and however it turns out at the end, there's only 2 parts where I got to make judgment, where I got to go, oh, who is this? And you go, oh, yeah, they spoke up when I was lecturing and answered my questions. Oh, they were helping others during the in-class assignments, making sure everybody's doing well on those in-class assignments, because that's what they're for. We're all working together. You're supposed to work on it, turn around, or go to another row and talk to at least 2 other students and compare your answers with the in-class assignment. The goal of the in-class assignment is for everybody to get 100 on them to keep your grade up in case you fall apart on a quiz. And you're learning from each other, not just from me. That's the whole point of the in-class assignment. And so I'm watching to make sure you are trying to help other people or correcting them if their answer is different from you, that you're working it out, figuring out who's right, who's wrong. Telling them, hey, you didn't put enough detail, because you've got to put the detail, calculation details. They get all the points for my class. You got to give me some detail. You can't just give me the setup and then the answer. There's got to be something between the setup and the answer, showing me some of the work. Now, there's a huge advantage of this rule that I have of showing me work, is that if you have the wrong answer, you're going to lose very little points, because I'm going back through the detail of your work to pinpoint where the mistake is and only take off points where the mistake was. And from that point forward, I'm using your incorrect number to see if you got it correct, to give you as many points as possible. So that's how important it is to show your work along the way, because you will probably only lose 1/4 of a point, because I pinpointed a simple little mistake you made. Where the person who's left out the work and just gave the setup and the answer is wrong, they're going to lose half the points maybe, or at least 1/3 of the points, because they didn't even show the work for me to pinpoint where the mistake was, to only take off 1/4 of a point. All right. Any questions about how to figure out what your final grade is by looking at that chart? Everybody got it, as far as the rounding is concerned and so on? Now the percentages: participation, in-class assignments, homework. I want to give you an example. I always get this every semester. Hey, I'm running late, homework's due today. By the way, I'm trying this for the first time. It's been years since I've done this. I know it sounds weird. You guys are probably going, oh, I can't believe we gotta do this. I'm gonna ask you to hand in your grade the old-fashioned paper way for the first time in a long time. I'm gonna be the grader too. We lost our grader. So we lost our grader, we lost our supplemental instructor, so now I gotta be our own grader. So I'm gonna try an experiment where if I'm gonna do the grading, I'm gonna try using paper, because in the old days I used to be able to grade real fast before they gave me a grader, because there was paper. But then when people start emailing all their assignments in, it takes so much longer. I can't tell you how long it takes to grade each one of them, opening them up, and da-da-da-da. So when you come in to sign in each class, you're also going to just take your assignments and put it in the pile there for handing in your assignment. Assignments are always going to be due on Thursday. Consistent. You can put it on your calendar. Stats assignment dues every Thursday. Just put it for every Thursday except for spring break. And I'm thinking about waiving 2 assignments, possibly right before the quiz, in order to optimize the amount of time you have to prepare for the quiz instead of doing homework, maybe. But at this point in time, you can plan on homework being due every single Thursday for the rest of the semester except for spring break. And will be consistent pretty much, I think. I'll have to look with it. I know how much easier it is to remember to hand something in on time if it's consistent. So, and what time does it do is before the scheduled start time of the class. Since this class starts at 11, doesn't matter if I started lecturing at 11 or if I didn't start lecturing until 11:05, it's still due at 11 sharp or before. Now, I'm asking you to please hand in paper, which by the way includes the Excel part of the assignment. You're writing your Excel equations. You enter them into the Excel spreadsheet that I'm providing for you on the assignments on Canvas, but you're writing the result on paper. So you wrote the Excel equation that you're entering in the Excel on paper. This is the Excel part of the homework. Number one, you write the Excel equation and the result because you took that equation, entered it in on the spreadsheet to get the result. And you're writing that on paper for me to grade. So even that's on paper. Even the Excel this semester is on paper. Which is a good thing because on the quizzes in the final exam, all the Excel questions, you're writing out the Excel answer. It's going to be like equals there's most of the points right there. If this were asking for an Excel answer, there's the Excel equation. But while you're taking the quiz, you have Excel open on your computer, whether you're using your own computer or this one, and you're entering that in now, and on the quiz now, you got to give me the result. I don't know what this result is, but let's say it's, I don't know. And there's the result that you got from entering it in the computer. Or maybe the result, maybe you wrote it as a decimal point, because that's really how you see it on Excel, like that. I'll accept either one. I'll accept it as a decimal or as a percent. If that's the answer, I mean, I don't know if that's the answer to that. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example as to what to expect on the quiz and the final exam. You're writing the Excel equations, but you're entering them into the Excel spreadsheet and then giving the answer on the quiz also. It's a heavy Excel class. It's such a heavy Excel class. Go ahead.
Sorry. So do we have, can we just print it? Can we just have print the Excel sheet instead of writing them for the worksheet?
Yes, but here's the thing, when you print it, it's only going to give the result, and it's not going to give you the equation. I'm not going to be able to see it unless you know how, there's a certain way you can make the equation show up and the result. Is that what you're saying, both? Yeah, if I can see both the equation and the result, and you print that spreadsheet, I'll take it.
Because one of the assignments is on the worksheet, where like we can calculate the mean.
Yeah.
And like we can just like write on the worksheet and just print.
Yeah, as long as,
And instead of like writing them.
that's right, if you're going to print the spreadsheet, as long as you have it to where because usually people only are showing the answer, the result, and not the equation. I'd have to click on the actual spreadsheet to see the equation, but as long as you're printing to where I can see the equation and the result, if you guys want to print your spreadsheet, print it and hand it in, yeah, absolutely. Now, here's when you can email it. Are you ready? It's going to be late, and you're on your way to class, and you're going to be late. Yeah, that's what it is. You're on your way to class, and you're running late. That happens. What should you do? Should you just hand it in late? Or should you possibly pull over? Well, I calculated the difference. This is if you hand in your homework late. You just knocked your overall grade down by almost 0.5%. So now the highest grade you can get in this class is 99.5 because you're late with that assignment. Because you're going to lose 25%. Each assignment is 1.1 of your grade. I'm sorry, 1 2/3. 1.666667 of your grade. So 25% deduction, which we're about to talk about the late deductions when you're late, off of that is almost 0.5% off your grade. So you will automatically lose it 0.5%. So you're better off pulling over because you pull over, you take a picture of your homework, right? Everything's written out, including that printout of that page, and you email it to me. Now you relax and you drive the class slow. And you don't get in an accident, you don't worry about it. Because you're late, you only lose 0.2% on your grade. This is a whole 0.5%. This is 0.2%. You lose so little by being late that it can't even affect your grade. But the late homework can affect your grade. So I would rather you get the homework in, and yes, you're going to bring the physical copy when you finally get here. But, or if you're sick, you're going to send me pictures of your homework instead of bringing the physical copy. And then I'll grade yours then from the pictures. Go ahead.
So that means we're allowed to turn in our assignments early, correct?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, turn them in early, yeah. I don't know how you get it to me though.
So let's say when we get our assignments.
Well, it's already posted, you're right, he's right. He could come to class with a finished assignment on Tuesday, even though it's not due till Thursday. And it's Tuesdays are the days I usually go over the specifics related to the homework, where I'm giving you a lot of examples. So a lot of people wait till after that Tuesday lecture to do their homework because they want to see all those examples. That's what's gonna happen, by the way, for this first homework assignment. I'm not going over all those examples until Tuesday of next week, and then it's due Thursday.
So what about right here? Can we just, you want to?
No, that's the whole point, I need that paper copy.
We'll bring in that copy.
Oh, yeah, but why would you email it early if you're bringing the paper copies up?
Man, you never know.
Yeah, now I like that. Now put that, just say, I'm emailing these early just in case.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the paper copy to class. And then I can go, oh, well, I'll just hang on to this in case he doesn't make it to class, at least it's on time, absolutely. I think that's a lot of work just as a safeguard. But I wanna tell you, if you go, oh my God, I woke up late, I'm not gonna make it to class on time, boom, rip some pictures off and get an email to me. Right? So that you don't lose that 25%. So let's go to that part. Any questions? I'm gonna talk about participation because it does include attendance. Matter of fact, attendance is 50% of your 5%. So your attendance for the whole semester is only 2.5% of your whole grade. There's 28 classes, but 2 of them you're taking quizzes. So there's only 26 times I'm taking attendance. That I have the sign-in sheet, 26 of them. So each day is, let's see, that's 1/10 of 1% attendances. So you miss class, 1/10 of 1%. I mean, it's like nothing. If you're late, I think I had the wrong number. That's 9/10 of 1%. This is 2/10 of 1%. It's almost impossible to affect your grade, but don't get me wrong. Last semester, I had 2 students that made a heck of a try at affecting their grade with slightly late. I went all the way across my spreadsheet, all the way over. I think they had 14 each. So in that case, it could affect your grade, because you gotta multiply 14 times this, right there. Anyway, everybody understand the point? The point is, if you have to make a choice, whether the assignment's late or you're late, let it be you late and not the assignment. Let the assignment be on time. Now, are there any special circumstances where, hey, it's not late even though you're handing in late, like some real special circumstance that took place? No, there isn't. There's the no excuse policy right there. There are no such thing as special circumstances. It does not exist in this class. No, everything's no excuse. This is the only way I could find to treat everybody exactly the same. This is the only way. And I know some of you are gonna be mad because something bad has happened in your life and there's no way you can hand this in on time, it's gonna be late. Just deal with it, because that's the only way I've found over all these years that to treat everybody the same is to say no to everything. That's the only way I can do it. So, just so you know, no excuses on anything whatsoever. And everybody's treated the exact same. And it doesn't matter how you feel about me because I can't affect your grade. It's okay. Hate me all you want. It's fine. I can't affect your grade. I mean, there's these 2 little spots. Let's go to that. 2 little spots where I have to make a judgment. I'll show you. Where's participation here? Hang on. There it is. Participation. 50%. Now, don't forget, participation is 5% of your grade. 50% of the 5% is the attendance part. And you know, all I'm doing is taking the sign-in sheet and just recording it. I mean, I can't affect you there. 10% direct emails to me, 2 per semester. Some of you already have your first email. I got an email asking what time or what was the room number, which I could not remember. I still don't remember. Is it 192 we're in? 192. So that was an email not handing anything in. That was a participation email. I only am looking for each of you to send me 2 the whole semester on 2 different days, not handing anything in. So it should be pretty easy, but a lot of students will wait till the very last week of class to finally get these emails in, and they'll send them one after the other. Here, this first email's for participation, then 5 minutes later, this second email's for participation. They gotta be on 2 different days. Don't leave it to the end. Get it done soon as you walk out of here or something, take your phone out and just send an email. This is for getting one of my emails out of the way, all right? It's all, someone asked, hey, it works out better for my schedule if I could come to the 2 o'clock lecture instead of the 11 o'clock, but your 2 o'clock was full and I couldn't get in. I'm more than happy to have, if anybody else wants to volunteer to show up to the 2 o'clock instead of this 11 o'clock, you will unofficially be in that class, and that will be your class from this point on if you want to be in that class, because this one's a lot more crowded and that one's a lot less crowded, and it wouldn't be, I would like to have 30 in that other class, so I'm willing to take 4 or 5 more of you who may want to do the 2 o'clock, just to email me and let me know, and we'll plan on it.
How about if it's just for like 1 week, like you have?
Yeah, no problem, yeah.
Okay, and we'd have like.
All you gotta do is just show up at the, if you just one time say, oh, I just need to go to the 2 o'clock, show up to the 2 o'clock, but when you sign in, right next to your name, just put 11 a.m. so I know that you're really here from the 11 a.m. section.
And how would we do with like the homework? Would it be considered?
Oh, no, yeah, no, oh, hey, wait a minute, oh. Everybody hear what that, does everybody understand what that question means? Okay, well, I wanna make sure everybody gets this, because I just see, now I see the point. You're here, you're scheduled for 11 o'clock, you're supposed to be here at 11 o'clock. He's saying, hey, I wanna come to the 2 o'clock today, so I'm gonna hand in my homework at 2 o'clock. If you're not somebody who arranged to be at the 2 o'clock on a regular basis, your homework's late. Sorry.
How about if we email you prior, like the midnight before, saying like I
Yeah.
have it done?
No.
No?
No, yes and no. I thought you were gonna say, how about if we email you like the day before and hand it in already, but still wanna go to the 2 o'clock, as long as you hand in the homework before the 11, absolutely. That's where I thought you were going with that, sorry. No, unless you made arrangements in the next week or two to switch to the 2 o'clock, even though you can't switch officially, I mean, through me, you'd be officially in the 2 o'clock. Unless you arrange that, your homework's due at 11, even if you wanna go to the 2 o'clock lecture once in a while, your homework's due at 11. So just jump in here and have someone hand it in for you, or send me pictures, because that's a situation where I can't make it to 11 today, I'm gonna come to the 2, here's some pictures, and then you hand in the hard copy when you come at 2, and that way I don't have to grade the pictures.
So,
But I will compare them to the pictures to make sure that you handed in everything in time.
If I'm in the 2 o'clock class, can I come to the 11 o'clock class?
Say that again.
If I'm in the 2 o'clock class, can I come to the 11 o'clock class?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because in that case, you're handing your homework early, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so. But if you want to do it on a regular basis, I want you to email me and let me know, because I'm going to want you to take the test then at 11 o'clock if you're going to be here on a regular basis. I print just the right amount of quizzes. That's why I need to know exactly how many people showing up at 11, how many showing up at 2. So I want to make sure. Okay, what else is in participation? 15%. Here's the part where I got to make judgment. You ready? 15%. Remember, that's only 15% of the 5%. It's a very small part of your grade. So I really can't affect your grade, but I do have to make a judgment call on if you, at the end of the semester, I go, hey, did so-and-so answer questions during my live lectures? I said live lectures only because I was doing this on Zoom last year. But face-to-face lectures, once in a while, I'll ask a question in general, hoping somebody will quickly answer it or raise their hand or however you want to answer it. And I want to learn your name and learn. By the end of the semester, I'll know everybody's name, but I want to learn it as quickly as possible. And that's what I then judge on whether you answered questions. And the other part where I got to make judgment is helping other students during the in-class assignments. That you didn't just do your in-class assignment hand in, that you walked around and talked to at least 2 other people in different rows that maybe you don't usually compare with, and compare answers with, and help them if they're different than your answer or vice versa. So that's the only part I gotta make judgment, but that's, again, 15% and 15%, that's 30% of 5%. That's only 1.5% of your whole grade, is the only part I'm making judgment on. My grade on those 2 parts right there never, I don't think, has ever affected anyone's overall grade. So you don't have to worry about me killing your grade. You gotta worry about you killing your grade. And you don't have to worry about, whether you like me or don't like me, you don't have to worry about that either, because I can't affect your grade. When I'm grading things, I'll grade one problem at a time, like an assembly line, so that I have consistency. If I'm taking off a half a point for that mistake, everybody else who had that exact same mistake loses the half a point. I want to make sure there's always consistency on my grading. So that's why I'm saying I can't affect your grade. I'm not even looking at the names while I'm grading, because I'm like the assembly line, making sure I'm consistent on how I grade. So the grade's in your hands. It's just where it all goes. There's no extra credit, there's no makeups, or whatever you wanna call them. I mean, you can make up a quiz if you have an extenuating circumstance, and you can't make it to a quiz, you can let me know, and we'll make arrangements, but your quiz will be different, and it has to be supervised, so we're probably gonna do it over Zoom with me watching while you take it, something like that. So, all right, what else is participation? At the end of the course, you have to do a course evaluation, and then when you get done doing the evaluation, there's a list of the evaluations, and it shows what you've completed. You're gonna just take a screenshot of that and send it to me, and you get that 10%. Just show me you did it. Don't show me any answers, it's anonymous. It's just that page that says you completed it, it's all I'm looking for. So there's that 10%. Did I skip anything? 2 emails, talking during when I ask questions, speak up when I ask questions, helping others during in-class, doing the course evaluation, and showing up to the lectures. There's participation, there's 5% of your grade right there. Those are all easy things to do. Now, let's go to homework, the whole late policy. Did I just pass it? There it is. There it is. Here's the late policy. You're 5 minutes late. You've lost 25%, so the highest grade you can get now on that assignment is a 75. I don't know what to say there. That takes you all the way till midnight the following day. So you're 1 day late, you're 5 minutes late, all the way to 1 full day late, midnight the following day. After midnight, the next day, it's another 10%. So now you're 35% off. The highest grade you can get to 65. The next day is another 10%, but the max is 60%. So you could be 7 weeks late and you still can get a 40. And that's what happens at the end of the semester. In the last couple weeks, I'm usually reminding everybody, hey, I've got 15 zeros. Why do I have 15 zeros? Turn them into at least 40s. You can still hand it in. And even though it's 7, 8, 10 weeks late, you can still get a 40 because the most I can take off is 60. The answer is posted. I don't know how you wouldn't get a 40. The answer is posted. How would you even get it wrong and not get a 40, right? I mean, the only deal when you're handing something in late, the only requirement is that everything must be handwritten. No copy pasting anything. So you're gonna go look at the answers, but you've gotta at least handwrite all the answers out. You don't have to write the questions out, just the answers, all the work. By the way, most assignments when you're looking at the answers and just copying down the answers in your own handwriting, including the Excel answers in your own handwriting, and the result takes you maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So, now, you ready? Let me paint a scenario for you. You're having troubles with a homework assignment. And you're just going, man, I'm not getting this one. This one's just not, and you can't find any help in time. You're not gonna be able to hand it in. You're gonna be late with it. Maybe it's 10 minutes late, maybe it's a day late. The moment you're late, stop yourself from handing it in. The moment you're late, stop yourself. Wait until the answers are posted. Because now that it's late, even 5 minutes late, it's gotta be handwritten. Everything has to be handwritten. Nothing can be printed, like the Excel, when you said print it. If it's late, it has to be handwritten. You can't print, copy, paste, nothing. And why not wait then until the answer is posted? Because then that guarantees you a 75. So I want to refresh this because it boggles my mind that sometimes students will get less than 75 on homework because there's no excuse. There's no excuse to not get a 75 or above. Now let me repeat it. If you're going to be late with a homework assignment, stop yourself from handing it in. Wait till the answers are posted. Hand it in the next day. You're guaranteed a 75. The only reason you're not getting a 75 is you forgot to hand it in the next day. And you waited another day or another day. And now it's a 65. Now it's a 55. Now it's a 45. Now it's a 40. So anyway, everybody in this room now knows how to get a 75 on every homework assignment or above. That there's no reason to not get a 75. The only reason you don't get a 75 is you completely forgot that there was even a homework assignment due. Would be the only reason. And it's always due on Thursday, so you shouldn't forget.
Homework assignments are due. If homework assignments are due on Thursdays and you only have Tuesday and Thursday, and you only accept paperwork, how are we gonna turn it in?
You're gonna take pictures in those rare cases where if you can't come on Thursday, I'm gonna accept pictures of it instead. Those are the times I will grade it by pictures.
You said that late work is only, okay, so we send you a picture, then we turn it in.
Everything's handwritten though, but you send me pictures of the late, you send me pictures of all the handwritten answers. Yeah, and I'm grading your late assignment 2 pictures. Everybody hear that? Because you're right, I did forget to say that. Late assignments, obviously you can't hand it in by paper and you want to get it done the next day, you're taking pictures of your handwritten answers. You just send me pictures. Make sure your name's on it.
It's handwritten, like handwritten, can I write it on my iPad? Just like,
Yeah,
and print it out?
I think so. Yeah.
It's handwritten.
Yeah, because there's no way you can copy and paste any answer that way, right? Okay, yeah. I'm eliminating the copy and pasting because students many years ago, before I had the handwriting written rule, would purposely just not hand in an assignment because it's taking 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes to go copy, paste, all right, handed it, email. So it's gotta be handwritten. You gotta put some effort into it. I'm hoping at least a little bit will sink in because you're looking at the question and answers and having to copy it. So I'm hoping at least a little bit will sink in. The good news is, every one of those answers I post on campus, when I post the answers, you are able to have right in front of you while you're taking the quiz and the final exam. All those answers. I would say the #1 tool I think students use to take the final exam and the quizzes are the answers to the assignments that are posted. The answers to the homework assignments and the answers to the in-class assignments. Because a lot of time the in-class assignment is covering something that the homework, there wasn't enough room to cover on the homework. So all those answers are probably the #1 tool a lot of students use. When it comes to the multiple choice, the PowerPoints and the book are the #1 tools for those questions. So that's what you got in front of you. And usually, let's say a quiz has 10 questions, probably 6 or 7 are problems, 3 or 4 are multiple choice. And then it probably has 40-minute time limit maybe. Something like that. All right, so everybody understands the late policy. Here's the grading on homework. You're gonna see things where, matter of fact, here, I got some examples. Here's an example of a grading. Maybe I write it down, or usually, because this, again, you're looking at how homework before this semester is always emailed in, so I have to type the results and email it back to you. Since you're handing in paper this time, I'll be writing out things like this. So look at the top one, let's say this is week 1 assignment, then it says detailed grading. Detailed grading, what does that mean? Well, let me show you. Assignment grading, there's 2 types, non-detailed grading and detailed grading. Detailed grading means I'm looking at every single thing you wrote down. I'm looking at what you added, what you subtracted. I'm looking at all your work and I'm grading every part of your answer. Non-detailed grading, which are rare, but they do happen, I'm just looking to see that you completed the homework. I'm looking that you put enough effort in, that you at least showed work. I'm not looking to even see if you got it right or wrong. I'm just looking that you have enough work there that you put an effort in, and then I'm putting a grade on it. I put the word okay on the top, which means you got 100, because you put enough effort in. That's a non-detailed grading. So now, let me go back to the example. This first example, week 1, assignment, detailed grading. #1 was correct, #2 correct, #3 correct, score 100. That's easy to figure out. Now look at this one. Here's someone, week 1 assignment, detailed grading. #1, missing detailed calculations. So they gave the answer in the setup, but they didn't give me any calculation details. They lost 5 points. #2 correct, #3 correct, 95. But then it says, missing items can be resubmitted to get possible points back. Missing items. If the word missing items is on your homework, you can hand that homework back in, maybe on the back or a piece of paper attached to it, and it says, attached are the missing items, and you get partial points back added to your score because you just forgot part of it. You left some off. So you're gonna get some points back for it, if you decide to hand them in, that is. But, errors, you can't get those points back. They're gone forever. So if on there I'm putting a check mark error and then I explain the error, those points are gone. But I put another part, you see a check mark, missing item, and points being taken off, and I explain what's missing, hand it back in with the missing item now. And the missing items are posted, the answers are posted. So you know exactly what to write to get that missing item, hand it in, and get some points back. Yes?
So you will only do the problem that is missing?
Yeah, if when I hand it back, you want to get some of your points back, you can hand back in only the problem missing and get those points back. But hand it in with the original so I can figure out why you're, staple it to the original or put it on the back or something. So I know why you're handing in the same homework again. And then I'll go, oh, you had a missing item, and then I figure out, and I calculate some points to add back to your score. And all of a sudden on Canvas, on Gradebook, you'll see your score get increased. How we doing? Everybody okay? Everybody getting it? I know a lot of you are getting relaxed right now and going, oh, this class isn't gonna be as bad as I thought. And it's probably true, but at the same time, do not let your guard down on the quizzes and final exam. Especially that final, is 25% of your grade. It will kill you if you fall apart on that final. And that's what happens every semester with at least 1 or 2 students. They fall apart on that final, just weren't prepared. And they thought they were gonna get 1 grade and they get something C- or less, and they have to take the class over.
For the resubmissions, is that through email or through paper or?
That's the bad part. This is the hard part with this policy. This, when it was emailed, everybody was getting their grades emailed back to them 1 to 2 days later, so they could respond right away. And time's clicking. That's why you only get partial points back, because you're gonna get a late reduction on the partial points you're gonna get back. So what he's saying is, hey, if we hand in the homework on Thursday, we're not gonna know that we have missing items till Tuesday when I'm handing it back, right? And now it's already, it was due Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it was 5 days late already. So you hand it back in at the end of class on Tuesday, you're already 5 days late. So you're right, you're only getting back, what, 40% of the points you lost for that missing item. That's the bad news. And if you don't hand it in at the end of class, he's saying, can we go home, write out the missing item and take pictures and send it to you? The answer is yes. Yes. But the bad news is you're still 5 days, so I don't know how to correct that little situation, if there's a way to correct it or not. I'll have to think it through. If anybody has any suggestions how to correct that situation, where it would be, how do we know we have missing items sooner? And the real way to do it is you take a picture of your homework before you hand it in, you go and look at the answer that I posted Thursday night, and you compare it and go, oh, I had some missing items, get them in, and now you're not, now you're only 1 day late, only 25% off the missing item points. So there is a way to get all the points, if you decide to do that. I know I say this with skepticism because it's very rare for students to go look at the posted answer until they need to, not right away like that. So I guess, go with your gut instinct. If you think, hey, I'm not sure I had all the information needed for this one, go check the answer Thursday night so you can know whether you need to hand in more or not. Here's another example real quick. Here's where somebody handed in something, they had a missing item. So this is a week, let's say week 1 assignment, score updated. Handed in a missing definitions, this person was missing some definitions. They lost 24 points, so now the 24 points is being added back, but that was late 3 days, so 45% off, but it's only off the 24 points. So they had a score of 49.4, that's a low score. 49.4, they get back 55% of those 24 points. They lost 45% of the 24 points, so they got back 13.2 points. So they increased their score on that assignment to 62.6. That's because it was 3 days late. Had they handed in that with only 1 day late, it would have been only 25% off those 24 points. So it would have really given them a jump back up on their score. So the point I'm trying to make is, you only have half assignment done, you're showing up Thursday before class starts. It seems like you might be better off just handing in half assignment and then handing in the other half late. You're only losing 25% off the other half. Your business stats?
I have some 120, but
You must be at the 2 o'clock section maybe, are you? 2 o'clock?
yes, I am.
Okay, see you at 2
Thank
o'clock.
you.
We'll all be here. Can you guys stick around, please? Unless you have another class, I guess you might be able to. But it'd be funny if you could all stick around, I think that's fine. Anyway, there you go. Oh, here's the original score. So they lost 24 points because they didn't have all the definitions out of 14. They were missing 12 of them. And they were already 2 days late, so that's why their score was so low. Notice their original score gets added to it. I don't change that original score, I just add to it when they hand in the missing items, whatever amount of points they get back. So that's what you'll see when you have missing items. All right, so let's go back. I want to make sure everybody gets this. Whoops. How are things being graded? Non-detailed grading, detailed grading. Almost all of them will be detailed graded. Only maybe 1 or 2 assignments will be non-detailed grading. Let's go back up here. What's the late policy? 1 minute late to 1 day late, 25% off. Another 10% every day after that till a max of 60% off, right? Resubmissions, only missing items can be resubmitted, not errors. And extra credit, there's no such thing as extra credit in this class. No excuse policy. All my courses have a firm no excuse policy on everything that counts towards the grade. Don't take it personal. I know somebody's gonna take it personal. Please don't, because I say no to everyone. Everyone I say no to. It's the only way I can treat everybody fair. It's just not fair to give somebody a break and then not, I have to give everybody a break is how I feel. So the way I just go with giving no one a break. Believe me, you show up to class, you're gonna be fine. The people who don't show up to class are the ones who struggle in this class. You show up to class, I get you through it. That's the key. That's all you need to do. If you're not a math person, that is the absolute key for you, is to show up to every lecture. You're gonna be fine. Talk to some people who've had this before, they'll tell you, that's the key.
I have a question about.
Yeah, please.
What about like the recorded lecture? Can we watch it too if we like miss it? How
Oh,
is
yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Okay.
That's gonna be posted either tonight or tomorrow morning for you guys to watch. I noticed the views shoot up right before a quiz and right before the final exam. And then a lot of people refer to it, the Tuesday lecture, because it helps you do the homework. If you do homework right away after you leave the class, it's like fresh in your mind, and you go, God, this homework was easy. Oh, it took me a half hour. But a lot of people will wait, because it's due Thursday, they'll wait till Wednesday night or Thursday morning, and then I see the views on the recording, all of a sudden it goes 3 views, 5 views, 10 views, 20 views, 30 views, because everybody's working on the homework and they want to refresh the examples that I went over. So that's how you use it. I will try to get every recording the night of the lecture. Worst scenario though will be the next morning, and it's a link on Canvas. You'll go down the list of Canvas. Let me show you real quick. Let me get to, all right, you just signed into our class. There's the list of items for week 1, and at the bottom it will say week 1 Tuesday recorded lecture. You click on it, and then it will say, oh, you gotta click on a link. You click on the link, it takes you to YouTube, and there's the lecture starting right away. Now, I've had a couple students download these lectures and have it on their computer, laptop, while they're taking the quiz with headphones, and they have a sheet of paper with at what time in the lecture, at 1 minute and 30 seconds, it's binomial. 5 minutes and 40 seconds, it's the mean. 10 minutes and 20 seconds, it's the median. If you go through all of that hassle to take these lectures and download it, and then mark what time each subject is, and this is your way of learning, you need to hear and visualize it, you're more than welcome to do it for a quiz and a final exam. I think it's very creative of you, putting the time in to do that, and that's fine. I don't see how that would be cheating at all. I give more than one quiz, like the person next to you will probably have a different quiz than you have, and there's definitely a different quiz for the 2 o'clock class than there is for the 11 o'clock class. Those are different quizzes also. Because I don't want anybody to have an advantage. There's no reason to. It's open book, it's open note, it's open everything on Canvas. So just rely on yourself, no cheating. I put up these yellow folders between each of you, so there's no temptation to look to your left or right, just in case somebody next to you has the same quiz you have, because they go out randomly. But what else do I want to point out? Instruction. I don't know, is that the right? I guess that's it. I'm skipping all over. Oh, you know what I want to point out is the schedule. Let's get to the schedule real quick. Here it is each week. Notice at the end of each week, at the bottom, it says assignments due Thursday before class begins. That means before the start time, not the actual time I start lecturing, excuse me. The actual time class begins. But notice, every week it's Thursday. Week 2, due Thursday. Week 3, oh, what's to do with week 3? Never. There you go. Now there's an assignment right there. Due never. So when's it due?
For this
Thank
next-
you. Never.
What about the next? What about the textbook?
The next what?
Textbook.
Oh yeah, textbook, open book. Yeah, good. Thanks for asking. Here we go. Ready? It's open book, so you'd be crazy not to get the book. Get the cheapest version of this book. You can get the soft cover copy with the ring binders if you want. Get whatever. Get a used. This is the 3rd year, 2.5 years maybe. So there's all kinds of used ones out there. You shouldn't pay more than $40. If anybody's paying more than 40, see if you can take it back and get your money back, because there's a ton of them out there, right? I'm all about, you know, no $200 books for my classes or nothing like that. I was such a poor college student that books killed me when I was in college. They're so expensive. And so $40 should be the most you pay. But it's an open book test, so it'd be crazy not to get the book, because those multiple choice questions, a lot of people will jump to the back of the book where the subjects are. It will tell you exactly what page to go to then, and then you get to that page, and you go, oh, dude, boom. And you do the multiple choice questions then. So that I kind of gave away a hint as to how to use this book on taking the quiz, but that's the key, is just jump to the back to where all the subjects are listed and the page numbers. So yeah, get the book before your first quiz. When's your first quiz? Let's go back to here. There it is. January 26th, Thursday. That's exactly 3 weeks from today, I think. Does that sound right? 5th plus 21? Yeah, 3 weeks from today is your first quiz. You're walking in, you'll see your seat assignments up on the screen. Go to where your seat assignment is. You'll see all these yellow folders up. And then we'll pass it out. There'll be a start time and ending time up here based on that clock, because that clock's always off. But it'll be based on that one, because everybody always looks up at that one instead of the one on your computer to figure out how much time you got left. And time's gonna be your worst enemy when you're taking that quiz. It's not gonna be tricky. It's gonna be, a lot of comments that I get is that the quizzes and final exam resemble the homework. That's refreshing, I guess. I guess that doesn't happen in every class, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm not trying to be tricky. I mean, they're kind of hard questions, but if you feel comfortable with the homework, the key is recognizing the question. Recognizing what kind of question you have in front of you, that's the key. That's where people blow the quiz. They accidentally used the wrong formula because they didn't recognize what kind of question they had in front of them. They lost so many points that one problem, not recognizing what it is, could blow your quiz a whole grade. Like you're on your way to a B and now you got a C because that one question you thought was Poisson and it was really exponential. So that's how you want to prepare for this class, is what is it about that question that allows me to recognize it as what it is? Is it binomial? Is it Poisson? Is it exponential? Is it normal distribution? What kind of question is that? And that's what I'm going to harp on in the lectures, is here's the key to recognizing that question's Poisson. Here's the key to recognizing that question's exponential. Here's the key to recognizing, oh, this question has a standard deviation in it. Well, you know now it's a normal distribution problem. You know to use normal distribution formula because it had a standard deviation in the question. That's the key to it. None of the other ones will have a standard deviation. Exponential won't, Poisson won't. Oh, there's a standard deviation here. Right away, jump to the normal distribution equation. Now you know which equation to use, whether it's Excel or manually. Those are the things I'm going to teach you, is how to recognize what kind of question you have in front of you. What's the key component to recognizing that type of question, so you don't lose all those points. After quiz 1, you don't have quiz 2 until I think week 9. I just want to make sure we have homework due. Oh, when it says never, that means there's probably a quiz, and I switched it to never to give you optimal amount of time to prepare for the quiz. Because we have a lecture on Tuesday the 24th. Your quiz is in 2 days. I didn't want you to have to focus on getting your homework assignment done and not preparing for the quiz. So that's why you have never there. So that's why, where's homework? Instead of 14, we're only gonna have 12 of them. 20% of your grade's homework, there's 12 of them, so each homework assignment is 1.6667% of your grade. Instead of 14, because I must have said never before quiz 2 then. Let's go to quiz 2 and see if I said never right before it. So that'd be week 8. Hang on, where's my phone? We're running out of time. Week 8, it says never also. So homework on week 8 is going to be never. I suggest doing it. I'll post the answer at least, because you're going to walk in on Thursday, March 9th. Wow, this is shortly right after your spring break, by the way. Look at spring break. February 23rd is a Thursday, and then you're on spring break. You come back Tuesday, March 7th. Thursday, March 9th is quiz 2. So be prepared for that. That's kind of a rare occurrence to have a quiz, especially if that quiz would have been on March 7th, right as you come back. That would have been pretty rough. But you have one class before the second quiz when you come back from spring break. I tell you, I love spring break. There's nothing better than taking a week off in the middle of the semester. What if it snows? What if the roads are so bad they're canceling class? You ready? This class is never canceled. I wanna make sure everybody heard me. This class is never, ever, ever canceled. We'll always have class. The school got closed, you're gonna get an announcement from me or an email through Canvas that says, I just posted the recording from last semester. Homework is still due Thursday. There's the lecture right there. Class can still go like normal. It's recording just like this. You're just gonna watch the recording instead of showing up here for an hour.
What if it was a quiz?
Say again?
What if it was a quiz day?
Oh, if a quiz day, it's a different story. We'll figure it out, yeah. Yeah, but it won't be a quiz day. It's never happened, but you're right, you never know. If it's never happened, maybe it will. Not in March. The odds of us having a snow day in March 9th, March 9th, is that the date? They're pretty slim, but you're right, though, quiz one, when's the date on that? Is that January?
Yeah, it's 26.
Yeah, there's a risk there. If it's a snow day on quiz one, you're right, everything will get pushed forward. We'll have to figure it out. I'll have to redo the whole schedule. But, you know, any other day other than quiz one, it's not a snow day. It doesn't exist for this course, because we got the recording from last semester. I'll just post it, and you just go to class online instead of coming into the room. Go ahead and then here.
Would the homework just turn it into email?
Oh yeah, let's say, yeah, you're right. If it's a day homework's due, I'm gonna put in the email, don't forget, class is not canceled, even though it's a snow day. And I'll put instructions how to hand your homework. If homework was due that day, there'll be specific instructions. But you're right, it'll probably, either I'll put off handing in the homework till the following day, following class day, or I'll have everybody take pictures and email it to me, which will be awful, because it takes so much longer to grade, but one or the other will happen. Good question.
That was my question.
That was the question, yeah. We'll figure it out. I'll take everything into consideration. If we have a snow day and the campus got closed, when I send that email to you with instructions as to what we're gonna do, I'll take everything into consideration. Like, if homework was due, there'll be instructions what to do there. If we had an in-class assignment that day, the in-class assignment will be online instead, and you'll open the in-class assignment and you're doing it yourself, instead of doing it as a group.
So what if it's snowing, but it's not a snow day? Class isn't canceled?
If class isn't canceled, I'll be here. If for some reason I get in a wreck on the way here, you're right, because I got a long drive and bad weather. But I leave real early to make sure I get here. But if I got in a wreck, I'm gonna send a quick announcement to everybody. Well, I'm hoping that I'll be able to post a video and class will still go on, even though I can't make it. Is that, I guess, I don't know.
I'm saying, well, what if I don't wanna drive through the snow?
Oh, if you don't want to drive through snow, you just take the hit on the absent. As you can see, it has almost no effect on your grade, so just be absent and watch the video instead.
And still just turn it,
Yeah, just wait till the next day or that night when I can get the video posted and watch the video instead, because you didn't want to drive in the snow. And I respect that. I don't want to drive in the snow either. You know, but as you can see, yes, it will affect your grade, but it's not even a tenth of 1%. It's 9/100ths of 1%. So like, oh, I'm sorry, is that if you're late? No, that's if you're absent. You missed the whole day because you didn't want to drive in the snow. It has no effect on your grade. You'd have to miss several days to finally have 1% effect on your grade. Right? I mean, anyway. So I would not worry about, attendance is your least of your worries. Don't get me wrong, if you're not a math person, you should attend. I'm the one that's gonna help you get through this, by you attending. Not attending, you know, like everybody's talking to me even though you're not saying a word. And I can tell when people are starting to fall behind a little bit, and I'll make sure and go over it again, because I don't wanna leave anybody behind. I want everybody to make it through this course and to understand it, and the building blocks will go slow to start with, so that everything builds on top of each other as we get to the end.
In that situation, is it acceptable to just email you the homework if it were on a Thursday?
You mean, let's say you don't want to snow in, you don't want to come in, you want to go ahead and be absent? Yes. Hey, I'm not coming in, I'm going to take the absence, but here's my homework, picture. Yes, absolutely, because you can't hand it in paper. Yeah, if you can't hand it in paper, I prefer paper, but I would never take anyone's grade down because you sent me a picture of it instead of paper. I would never do that. I just hope you guys will try to help me out by handing it in paper, that's all. It will just be a lot easier, because we don't have a grader this semester, so. All right, any questions? When's homework due? What day's homework due on?
Thursday.
All right, everybody's gonna hand it in.
Let's say like you're turning your homework early, but then you found like a mistake.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a good question. I wanna make sure everybody heard you back here. He's saying, what if you handed in your homework early, like Wednesday, you took pictures of it and handed in, and in the email you said, I'm still gonna hand in the paper, but just in case. He's saying, and then between Wednesday and Thursday, you went on your WhatsApp, come on. What, am I born yesterday? You went on your WhatsApp, and everybody's going, oh, wow, number 5 was hard, here's my answer, what's your answer? And you go, oh, shoot, oh, shoot. And you wanna correct your mistake, because it's still not due to Thursday. That's a tough one. Once you hand it in, it's handed in, is the old rule. So I gotta think that one through, because I'm trying to get everybody handed in paper, right? And you corrected it on the paper one. That's a tough one. I wouldn't hand it in early. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, because the rule is, once it's handed in, it's handed in. Don't get me wrong. Now in previous semesters, because everybody's emailing it, and people have handed in early, and they catch a mistake, because they went on WhatsApp or whatever, and had the little group talk, and oh my God, I can't believe we got that one. And then they email a second one before it's due though. My response, I just copy and paste my response, because this is the response I always send is, once your homework's handed in, it's handed in. I will hang on to this though, in case you have missing items. Because if you have missing items now, this second one you just handed in can be used to replace the missing items, and it's not late. So you're getting all the points back with no late reduction at all. So I gotta stick with that kind of rule. But it was a good question. He's saying he emailed his homework early, because just in case, and in the email it says I'm bringing in my paper copy, but then he corrected it on the paper copy. And I'm gonna notice that it's different than the email, because I quickly checked before I grade the paper copy, anybody who emailed it early. So, yeah. So, in that case, you check WhatsApp before you hand it in. How's that? Yeah, I know. All right, and what can I do to stop that? I can't do anything. Just let me in on the group so I can see how you're steering each other wrong and help correct you. I can't tell you how. Were a couple of assignments last semester where it's obvious somebody's posting an answer somewhere and everybody's copying it, the incorrect answer, which is crazy. But anyway, at least try to figure out if you're getting the right answer. Any questions about the schedule? Let's look at the final exam. It's somewhere between the 20th and 26th. I didn't look at it yet to see what day it is. Here's the number one question I always get about the final is, I have another final at the same time. Well, that's impossible. They work out the final schedule. You just don't realize the other classes' finals at a different time than you think it is, where the finals don't overlap on each other, so you don't have to worry about that. So I will, as we get closer to the final exam, I will tell you many times, your finals on this day at this time. And in fact, in the last 3 or 4 lectures, I put it up here so nobody forgets when the final is. We'll be here. We're running out of time. I just want to look at my list. We covered my email, office hours, grade criteria, textbook, participation, how the testing is going to be done, how to hand in your homework using paper, the no excuse policy, what the late policy is on how it has to be handwritten, resubmissions, missing item resubmissions, grading assignments, the schedule. Let's go back here. I did not cover all this yet. Here's your modules each week at the top. I'll move week 1 down and put week 2 at the top. So you have week 2. Grades, you know what to do with grades. Discussions we're not using. Assignments will be posted up here on the modules, but it just takes you in here. Here's assignment. Here's the first week's assignment. You have a written assignment, a number line assignment, an Excel assignment. Every week, let this be your guide. I post these instructions every week at the top of the list of each module. Everybody says, what PowerPoint should I study? What pages should I study? Always go to your instructions. Let these instructions lead you as to what you should be studying. Chapter 3, what is this? What is this? Chapter 3. Oh yeah, Chapter 3's PowerPoint. Slides 1 through 19 are being covered this week. Thursday and Tuesday are a week. This is the beginning of the week. Tuesday will be the end of the week. So this week, when I say a week, Thursday and a Tuesday combined. Chapter 2, slides 1 through 13 would be the ones you'd want to study. Textbook, what pages should we study? There they are, 80 through 97, 32 through 48. Excel spreadsheet that's posted. There's one called mean, median, mode. The live lectures, the links will be posted. So at the bottom of every weekly instruction are the areas that are being covered in the PowerPoints in the book. And these are the areas you should prepare for the quiz 1. What should I look at for quiz 1? Just go to these instructions. On the instructions, it tells you which assignments are due and what the name of each one is. And then it also tells you when the assignment's due. And just let these be your guide. Every week, this weekly instruction be your guide, so you know exactly what's due, when it's due, and what pages you should be looking at, which PowerPoint slides. Let it be your guide. This is posted every week. Any questions on that? Any questions on anything so far? How are we doing on time? Are we done in what, 2 minutes? No questions on anything? Is everybody signed in? Let me look at my notes one last time. When we start on Tuesday, we're going to spend a few minutes taking a spontaneous Excel assessment quiz. There's no effect on your grade. It has nothing to do with your grade. You're going to take it now, and then you take it again when you get to 302. Hopefully you'll do better after you take this class. That's the whole point of this, is to see where your Excel skills are before, and then after you get done with this class, to see if I improved them, which I hope I will, because I'm going to hype on Excel a lot in this class. So that's happening on Tuesday next week. Here's a workshop, Excel workshop. If anybody feels like their Excel skills need to be improved, in room 191, which is right next door, a week from today, from 12:30 to 1:30. So you'd leave here and just go right over there if you want. Next Thursday, a week from today, next door, there's a workshop being conducted with all, I can't remember the subjects, but it's like the if statement and how to use sum and how to find the average of different commands and how to delete rows and columns and all the, if you feel your Excel skills need some refreshing, that would be the seminar to go to. But it doesn't count towards your grade or anything like that, and I can't remember who's putting it out, but it's another. There'll be a bunch of students from the other 301 classes too. All of us that are teaching 301 are trying to get as many students as possible to go to this. But it's voluntary, it's up to you. But it will really help you, that's for sure. That's all I got. Is there any questions before we break up? This is it. We're focusing on how to do the homework on Tuesday after we do the Excel assessment, so that you're prepared to get that homework done after Tuesday's lecture. I'll see you then.